well, that was heavy. Munro follows a 4-year-old boy who was drafted into the army and can't convince anyone that he's 4, so he becomes a model soldier until he just can't take it anymore. 1961, obviously a big time for political activism, and I think this might be one of the best I've seen in getting its message across, because the presentation is so innocent and actually framed kind of comedically. Remember De Fure Face and how it was impossible to miss the message? Well, this is kind of the opposite. I could see a young kid not understanding that this is political at all. And that does seem to be the point with animating it in this incredibly simple style, which doesn't have any obvious symbolism. Actually, the animation style kind of reminds me of Peanuts. And in addition to that animation look being sort of a hiding place for the political messaging, the narrator hides any political activism behind a comedic wall. He's even voiced by a well-known comedian, framing almost everything as a joke and having the political messaging be quite subtle. So I'm on the verge of laughing, but then I just feel awful and kind of depressed when the little political jabs are snuck in.
For if so many wise men claimed it was impossible for him to be 4, how could he be 4?
And when Munro finally breaks down, judging by the cast list, it seems like this is another example of the director using his kids in the main role, and the way this kid cries is haunting. I actually kind of wanted to turn it off because I get all the subtext going on here, and it was a lot. Like, to the point where I teared up a bit. And then that ending left me with this big empty pit in my stomach. I mean, I didn't grow up during that time, but I've read books and seen movies, and oh my goodness, it was rough. I'm curious what people of the time thought about this, or if it did its job in getting its message across. Personally, I think it did an amazing job, which is why I don't really want to watch it again. But I have to appreciate the talent of this director in getting this pretty horrid scenario across in a G-rated cartoon. So I'm not thinking this would be a pleasant watch for the casual cartoon viewer, but if you're a history buff or learning about the war, I'd have to say this is a must-watch.